Forgive me, Lord, for I am about to commit a YouTube sin, and I hope this is not my legacy, but I am with Laura Loomer and the conspiracy fringe of the MAGA base. I can't believe I just said that, but she's got a point. Attorney General Pam Bondi appears to be lying to the American people about the Epstein files, because when you look at all the evidence, it's really difficult to believe what she's saying. Hey everybody, Dave Briggs here with founding editor Colby Hall. The FBI and the DOJ released a joint statement, first reported by Axios, saying that one, Jeffrey Epstein, the deceased billionaire, pedophile, trafficker, among other things, died by suicide, was not killed, but also adding there is no client list. That's despite what the Attorney General, Pam Bondi, told us in February. Listen.
I saw your appearance at CPAC with Ben and with Ted Cruz. And one of the things that you alluded to, and this is something Donald Trump has talked about, the DOJ may be releasing the list of Jeffrey Epstein's clients. Will that really happen?
It's sitting on my desk right now to review. That's been a directive by President Trump. I'm reviewing that. I'm reviewing JFK files, MLK files. That's all in the process of being reviewed because that was done at the directive of the president from all of these agencies.
So have you seen anything that you said, oh my gosh?
Not yet.
Okay.
All right, Colby. So now there is no list that was on Pam Bondi's desk in February. What do you make of it?
This is crazy, and it plays right into, they're playing with fire, the Trump administration, because if there's anything that a certain sect of the MAGA media believed in was this crazy cabal, this sort of like, it was tied to QAnon, this like sort of child, and we know that there was, Jeffrey Epstein was a convicted sex trafficker. He was a bad, bad guy. And a lot of people had worked themselves into this conspiratorial fervor, and a lot of them were like people that were like, who's now the Attorney General, Pam Bondi, and now suddenly you get into this, powerful place in administration, and just like, nope, we were wrong, it didn't exist, this is not, just look the other way. And I gotta tell you, like to your point, Laura Loomer, who I think is batshit crazy in a lot of ways. It's kind of nice to see the MAGA media set be a kind of principled here and say like, whoa. You've convinced us that there's a conspiracy here. And now that you're in office, it suddenly went away. Either you were lying to us then or lying to us now to cover up. Like conspiracy theorists gonna conspiracy theory, right? And so they've created a problem that I don't think they can back out of, because the evidence of them insisting that there was all this dirt on elected and powerful people, you can't just sweep that under the rug and pretend it's not there anymore, because you've lost all credibility.
Yeah, and add to that list Kash Patel, now FBI director, and Dan Bongino, who works for him, who were once conspiracy theory hosts who constantly talked about the Epstein files and the likely including Bill Clinton. Whether or not there's evidence or not, they repeatedly suggested that and also piled on the fact that he in fact did not commit suicide. And now that they're in the Trump administration, they both say he definitely committed suicide. It's not just that. I don't know if you remember a moment that Patel was actually on the Joe Rogan show at the very minute that Elon Musk dropped the bombshell tweet that Trump is in the Epstein files. And the most telling reaction was Kash Patel saying, and I quote, "That is way outside my lane." That is exactly what your lane is, Kash Patel. Right. Nothing could be more in your lane, in fact, than that, because the FBI has taken the lead on it.
Right. Again, Elon Musk is insisting that Trump is in the Epstein files. That's why they don't want to get released. Let's look at the footage from 1992 when Jeffrey Epstein and Trump were palling around. Let's take a quick look at that.
A tape in the NBC archives of a Mar-a-Lago party shows Trump giving Epstein his personal attention.
Donald! Donald! Donald!
The footage, shot in November of 1992, before Trump opened the resort as a club, shows the future president surrounded by cheerleaders for the Buffalo Bills and Miami Dolphins, capturing Trump's fun-loving bachelor lifestyle for an appearance on Faith Daniels' NBC talk show.
We're going to get great ratings in your show.
After a while, Trump goes to greet 3 new guests, among them the financier Jeffrey Epstein.
Come on in. Go inside.
More than a decade before his guilty plea on state prostitution charges.
Those guys look like they were buddies. And here's another bit of a clue, and I'm not conspiratorial. However, when Ghislaine Maxwell was arrested, and I think she was sort of like in hiding, they found her, and Trump, this was 2018, I believe, was asked during a White House press briefing what his message was to her. Let's see what he said then.
Ghislaine Maxwell is in prison, and so a lot of people want to know if she's going to turn in powerful people. And I know you've talked in the past about Prince Andrew, and you've criticized Bill Clinton's behavior. I'm wondering, do you feel that she's going to turn in powerful men? How do you see that working out?
I don't know. I haven't really been following it too much. I just wish her well, frankly. I've met her numerous times over the years, especially since I lived in Palm Beach, and I guess they lived in Palm Beach. But I wish her well. I wish her well. This is someone who is like the number 2 to like, a child sex slave ring operator, a convicted bad guy who apparently, mysterious millions, if not billions of dollars. And his number 2 gets arrested for helping him out. And what does President Trump say? I wish her well. It felt to me and a lot of people like, wait, what? She's a terrible person. How are you wishing her well? Is that some way, some sort of signal to be like, look, don't say anything bad about me. I won't say anything bad about you. There's no proof that that's this, but that's how conspiracies work. And it gives sort of momentum to the Laura Loomer said, which again, I'm suddenly now in line with. Like, how am I now part of the conspiracy theory set?
It's like I said earlier, it's really hard to agree with Loomer, but I do in this case. Now, just to be clear, she has an ever-growing presence in the administration, in particular on national security issues, which is batshit crazy in and of itself, right. But it is what it is. More evidence was Alina Habba, at the time a counselor to the president, now interim U.S. attorney in New Jersey for the administration, who told Piers Morgan.
But in this case, in Epstein's case, it is incredibly disturbing. We have flight logs, we have information, names that will come out.
Is it going to be shocking?
I don't see how it's not shocking that there were so many individuals that were hidden and kept secret and not been held accountable. Let's talk about the reverse. I believe in accountability. So you have to now go through your process. Now, I won't say they're guilty until they go through their time in court. But again, now it's time for accountability. We have seen for so many years, Pierce, in this country, many investigations, subpoenas, testimonies in Congress, et cetera, et cetera. But there's a general frustration with accountability. We take it halfway, we don't take it home. And I really believe that now with Cash and Pam, there will be accountability.
So she just piled on to the pile of evidence that's out there that suggests we're not being told the truth. And back to Loomer, here's what she says about Bondi. I hope President Trump fires Pam Bondi if she lacks the shame to resign. I called for her to resign after Bindergate. Epstein raped kids on her watch when she was Florida AG. Pam Bondi is getting attacked in the light of day by Laura Loomer, who apparently is at least trying to bring receipts. But we don't have any evidence. You mentioned the numerous pictures of President Trump with Jeffrey Epstein, his buddy at the time, videos of them partying and talking and watching ladies dancing. That's less important to me than all the evidence I ever needed. And it arguably has been provided by his megaphone. Fox News actually buried Trump on the Epstein files 1 year ago. So I want you, Colby, to listen, but also I want you to watch the body language. And we're no body language experts, but I want you to watch the body language of President Trump when he's asked this line of questioning by my former show,
Right.
Fox and Friends weekend.
Would you declassify the 9/11 files?
Yeah.
Would you declassify JFK files?
Yeah.
Would you,
I did a lot of it.
Would you declassify the Epstein files?
Yeah, I would.
All right.
I guess I would. I think that less so because, you don't know it. You don't want to affect people's lives if it's phony stuff in there because there's a lot of phony stuff with that whole world. But I think I would.
Okay.
I mean, honestly, it just is like,
Well, it's not, because let's just go through that again. Number one, yeah. Number two, yeah. Number three, like literally, if I'm sitting across from you and we're playing poker, I don't need what follows. I already know you're fucking bluffing. I already know what's in your hand because you just revealed it. But then his stumbling through that answer and the real coup de grace, I mean, the choice line is he doesn't want anything phony out there because he really worries about, ruining people with phony stuff that's out there. Well, there's a few illegal immigrants that ate dogs that would like a word with you, Mr. President.
right. He's a stickler. Oh, by the way, the dog eating thing, that came from Laura Loomer. That's where that started, to bring it full circle. But right, like as if he's the paragon of truth telling, right? Like, this may not be exactly true. Like he's the king of exaggeration, hyperbole, and he's just like, he tells falsehood. So in this instance, the weird irony here is in that Fox and Friends interview, weekend interview, they edited that part out for what aired on air, and that's just like the digital version. Yes, that's precisely what 60 Minutes did with the Kamala Harris interview that led Trump to sue CBS News for $20 billion, and they have them settle for. So it's standard operating procedure. You cut stuff for time. But yeah, I think honestly, like that interview is as big a tell as you could possibly mean. Is his name in the list? Probably. Does it mean that he was like stooping a 14-year-old? We have no idea, right? Like they were, but is he wanting to keep that stuff out? Last bit I will tell you, I was talking to someone who's very well connected in the Trump media world. And about a month ago, I'd heard reliably that Pam Bondi was not Trump's favorite cabinet member right now. And that she was, maybe on her way out. And you see that, I heard that, I was like, really? Now this mess, and today, Peter Doocy, this again there's some good talented people at Fox News. Peter Doocy asked this question during the press briefing. Well, let's just watch him ask the question right now.
Follow up on that, Caroline. Okay, so the FBI looks at the circumstances surrounding the death of Jeffrey Epstein. According to the report, this systematic review revealed no incriminating client list. So what happened to the Epstein client list that the Attorney General said she had on her desk?
Well, I think if you go back and look at what the Attorney General said in that interview, which was on your network, on Fox News.
Got the quote.
Go ahead.
John Roberts said, DOJ may be releasing the list of Jeffrey Epstein's clients. Will that really happen? And she said, it's sitting on my desk right now to review.
Yes, she was saying the entirety of all of the paperwork, all of the paper in relation to Jeffrey Epstein's crimes. That's what the Attorney General was referring to, and I'll let her speak for that. But again, when it comes to the FBI and the Department of Justice, they are more than committed to ensuring that bad people are put behind bars. They have an operation going on right now called Summer Heat, which has our murder rate trending in the lowest direction in United States history. Their emphasis on violent crime and locking up violent criminals has led to the arrest of 14,000 violent criminals. That's a 62% increase from the same time period last year. So this Attorney General and the FBI Director are committed to putting bad people behind bars where they belong. They promised an exhaustive review. That's what they did. For any further details, I would refer you to the Department of Justice.
Okay. No question about that. Staggeringly frightening, revealing. I got to say, side note, when I was at Fox, I thought Peter Doocy was an absolute joke. He didn't deserve that job. His father handed it to him. He's become arguably my favorite reporter in the press corps. I really enjoy most of the questions he asked, but I have to circle back to something you pointed out that I thought just occurred to me. When I was searching for that Fox and Friends weekend clip, the only version I found was posted by Fox News that did not include the stumbling, awkward part about, conspiracy theories and false stuff that's out there. And I really thought, wow, was that the most telling thing? Because they posted what they wanted to be out there. That wasn't saved for time.
Right.
I'm not going to get into the 60 Minutes
No,
selective
but
editing
it
to
was
make
arguably
Kamala
the most
Harris look like.
newsworthy thing in that interview.
Yeah, I mean, look, Kamala Harris was intended to make her look sound intelligent, which she was clearly not, or less word salad. This was edited to keep us quiet, to not allow us to interpret how guilty the president looks. I'm curious, though, about the Pam Bondi reporting, because the last couple of weeks and months, Pam Bondi has proven to be Donald Trump's personal attorney, her Roy Cohn. She is not working for the American public. She is directly working for the president.
Right.
And sadly, I fear that the DOJ and the FBI have both been politicized. Oddly, what Trump was fighting against, they have both been politicized to the point that they are filtering what the president wants out there. Why else would they be firing anyone who touched January 6th investigation? So sadly, we're back at a point, albeit on the other side, that I don't know if anyone believes the DOJ and the FBI here.
Oh, I don't think they do. I think and what the most dangerous thing for the Trump administration and for President Trump is his most loyal, like cat turd too. He's complaining on social media that apparently the DOJ cut like a minute off of the video that went public. So they're like, this is the problem when you lay in bed with conspiracy theories, they eventually will turn against you. And just to button up the Fox News part, yes, I think Peter Doocy is proven. Like when he started, he was kind of a goofball. He was kind of he
was brutal,
a serious guy. He's turned into like a really he lends gravity to that morning show operation in his reporting, and especially in the briefing room. Guess what story they've entirely ignored today? Big news broke last night about this Epstein thing. Fox News has not touched it. Fox Business covered it briefly on Maria Bartiromo's show with an interim host or a guest host. But Fox News has literally, as of like 2:30 today, has not mentioned this at all. And when Doocy asks a good question, they almost always feature it because it's a Fox News friendly story. They have not yet covered it. They did not go to Peter right afterwards. It will probably come up later, but I think it's a tell. I think it's revealing that Fox News is doing the Trump administration a solid here by just pretending that this story didn't break.
I don't make much of that in the wake of the devastating Texas floods. We're looking at more than 100 people killed, mostly children. So I don't make a lot of that, but I would add that they have not covered Elon Musk's America Party. They have really stayed away from the renewed feud between Elon and Trump. And that, I think, speaks volumes because many feel that the America Party, the third party, would in fact hurt conservatives, which I genuinely believe they are correct, that it would hurt conservatives more than Democrats. But I guess I make a little bit less of today's lack of attention. But Elon did tweet, "What's the time? Oh, look, it's no one has been arrested o'clock." Again, with the official Jeffrey Epstein pedophile arrest counter reading 0. So Elon is not going to let this issue die. I don't know that that really changes the subject, unless, of course, he has some evidence, which clearly he does not. He erased his original tweets on the subject, which is a bit strange to me, and now he's gone right back at it.
Well, I just think he's gone rogue. And I think he could say or do anything, and he's got a big following, even if it's not true. Trump has taken advantage of using the platform that he has to like throw out, people are saying stuff that isn't necessarily true. Elon can do the same thing. Quick sort of non sequitur to Elon and the America Party.
Yeah.
I spent a lot of time talking to friends over the weekend, the holiday weekend, and I have a lot of like center left friends, a lot of center right friends, all of whom think third parties are dumb and historically kind of like a waste of time. Almost to a person, everyone was like, you know what? I'm listening. Like, I don't like Elon. I don't want him to be the front man, but I am so sick of the extremists running the Democratic Party or the extremists running the Republican Party. If we can get rid of Mitch McConnell and Chuck Schumer and this gerontocracy, I'm all, and these are smart, successful, retired, very wealthy people who are like, you know what? I'm up for something different. So I think there might be some momentum behind the America Party. And I can't believe I'm saying that, but I think there's something there.
I'm with you. I'm with your crew. To wrap things up, I am happy to be the press secretary for the America Party. If they are looking, my DMs are open. I will just say this. Philosophically, I am not with Elon Musk, and I presume your friends and yourself are not either. I think he's perfect if he's the wallet.
Right.
But if he's the face and the voice, America Party has no shot. But I would love to hear what the Mediaite audience says about that, because 65-35 went Elon's poll in favor of the America Party. Don't forget, the biggest party in the country is independent, and it's not close. 43% versus 27% Republican, 27% Democrat. That's got to be our next segment coming later in the week. Are you in?
I'm in. Let's do it.
See you then.
Good to see you.